Good morning, everyone. Good night, good evening, wherever you are looking at this. Today, I'm going to do a overview of my 2026 journals or journal ecosystem. So, as you all could see, there are 5 books that I will be using throughout the year of 2026, and I'll start from the top. So, firstly, I would be using a A6 Hobonichi Tacho. So I already started to use it in 2025, and because I was not able to finish it, I'm going to continue to use it. So this book was used as a common placing book or journal. So as you could see, the stickers that I used for each category, and I'm going to continue to use it this year. So I basically didn't take full advantage of all of the sections of this book. I really wanted to use it just for the undated pages. So what I used it for, as you all would have seen from before, quotes and poems, definitions, recipes, movies, book discussion, game info, self-development, health, language learning. So in 2025, I would have started to do that, and I would have only done a few pages well in this book, so there's no need for me to cast it aside and to use an entirely new book when there's a lot of space left in this book. So this is definitely a book that I'm going to use or continue to use because I'm continuing to use it and probably may not even finish it in 2026. I decided to cover the date. And at the end, when I finish, I will include the years that I would have used it. So my next book is the Kinbor Weekly Planner. I cannot remember the name of this. Let's Go Party. This is a Let's Go Party edition of the weekly planner, and this will be solely used as a budget tracker. Initially, I wanted to use it to track habits, but there's another book that I'm going to use for that, so I could already throw this away. So I'm going to be using it to track spending. So these pages will be a monthly overview of spending, cash transactions and credit transactions, as well as total savings per month on this summary page. And I think that I'm going to utilize the top of this to do a vision board for finances, and then the weekly pages I'm going to be using to track my spending day by day. So I already would have set it up. So each week I'm going to choose new colors as the point colors to signify whether I did a cash transaction or credit, and then wish list would be all of the things that I spend throughout the week, or I know that I'm at the beginning of the week, I know that I'm going to be making those purchases, so I already know beforehand, and I'm going to list them in columns and do a total at the end. And each day I'll just write down transactions as I do it. So this year I am going to try to do a no buy challenge. So I would have written down all of the rules that I'm giving myself for that no buy challenge, and also additional rules, things I cannot buy or do, and additional rules, so places to avoid, strategies to try, deleting apps, different things like that. So that's my second book, which is solely for finances. My third book is this is from Kinbor. This is not a branded traveler's notebook, but because I have plans in 2026, I decided to get one specifically for that, so I would not be carrying any of my other personal journals with me. So this book came with 3 separate books. One was a ruled book, the second was a grid notebook, and the last one is unruled, undated, just blank pages. So the first book I'm using to write down all of my, basically when I do research, I'm going to write down everything in this book and different places I want to visit, different things I want to buy, wish lists, things like that. So as I see them throughout the year until I'm ready to go, I'll write them down in here so that I'll have them available to me when I go on that trip. Also, this book, I'm going to use it to do my packing list for different trips that I plan to take. Also, the second book, this is the grid book. What I'm going to do, each day of the trip, I'm going to write a mini summary of the day or what I did on that day, so that when I come home from the trip, I'll be able to transfer it into my actual day-to-day journal. So this will just be a brief summary, and then I'll expand on it when I have the time to. So this book is blank so far, and then the last book, I plan to stick receipts, or if there's a place that has stamps, I'll stamp those stamps in this book. And I don't think that I'll be transferring those like receipts and stuff to my regular journal, because I don't like that feel of it being too bulky. My last Hobonichi that I used was extremely bulky because I stuck receipts and stuff in it, and I didn't particularly like that. So I am going to leave all of those ephemera from travel in this book and let that get bulky. So this is my third book. Alright. My fourth book is a 2025 Hobonichi cousin. So this book I'm going to use as a health and fitness book. So as I give myself a theme, prioritize your sleep and your mental health. There's water, photography, music, all of the good things that make me feel good. So I covered up 2025 and I created this intro page, and I'll just get into briefly what I'm going to use and how I redated each section. So this is going to be my mood tracker. So I went ahead and assigned a color to each mood on top, because previously when I did it in my old book, I had to go in every month and put in the color, but I decided if I come up with a color beforehand, it will be easier for me to fill in how I felt on each day. It will be a smoother process. So because it's in Japanese as well, I know that the dates might be wrong written here, but because I cannot read it, it does not affect me. So that's the beginning. I also bought number stickers, and I would have redated the months so far. So it's January, February, March, April, May, June, and I believe it goes up to July. So it was pretty easy to do that, and I think that because I'm just using it to track walking, running, 5Ks and rest days, it does not, the change in the dates does not affect me really, and it actually, to me, it would be an efficient way of tracking this. Right. Moving on. So this is the book that I chose to put. Alright, no, it didn't reach there yet. So for the weekly pages, I'm going to track habits, daily habits. So vitamins, habits that I believe are important to my health and wellness. I'm going to be tracking them here. Also, I'm going to put what I'm currently watching or reading in this section. And then again with the exercise. So if I forget to log it on the monthly page, I probably because I'm going to be doing this every day. If I forgot to log it there, I'll log it here, and then I'll transfer it to the other side, and that helps. That gives a additional level of accountability. So that's the plan for the week, please. And then moving on to my vision board. So this is my vision board and a breakdown of my vision board, and this is something I did in my old Hobonichi cousin. I gave myself a word of the year. So last year it was wellness, this year it's bloom. So bloom is to mature into the achievement of one's potential, a state of time, the state or time of beauty, freshness, and vigor. So that was the word that led my goals for 2026, and I'm going to use that to help me to achieve my goals. So if you look at the pictures, you will realize that they are closely linked to what I would have written down here. Right. Additionally, though, that something that's not there is spending time with friends. I want to continue to do that in 2026. So this, my daily pages, this is something I'm not quite sure if I'm going to keep, but I have it as a meal tracker. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, how I feel about my workout. I'm not too sure if I'm going to keep this, but for now, this is what it's going to be. At the end of the year, when I do a flip through, it might change, but that's how it is with journals, and that's fine. So at the end of the book, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down all of the restaurants that I visited, date, restaurant, what I ordered, and give it a rating. I think that's something fun to do. And I'm going to also write when I travel. If I go to a restaurant, I'm going to write that in the travel journal, and then when I come back home, I will transfer it into this book. I'm also trying to cut out my fast food, so this is something that I want to log to see how much times I go to restaurants, buy food from a grocery or a small shop, because it's something that I want to cut down on. So knowing how much you purchase something could give you an idea of if you're overdoing it or not, and give you a guide as to whether or not you need to cut down. And this will be closely linked to saving money as well. I think if I realize that there's a pattern where I am overdoing the restaurant food or eating out, then that will definitely be linked to how much money I'm saving at the end of the month. So I want to stay on top of that. What I want to add in, though, as I watch it is something saying not like I didn't buy any restaurant food, so nothing. Yeah, I think that will complete it. So I didn't really think about what to use the extra pages for. So far that's what I'm going to be using for my 2026 habit journal. Lastly, I'm going to be using a Kinbor A5 daily journal as my memory keeper. So this is how I decorated it, and I didn't really do much customization to it. I just added this flower, and then I plan to do a line a day. Hopefully that's something that I can stick to, because sometimes you may not have a chance to go through to read over your entire day in your memory keeper book, but you come back and you read a line of the day and you remember what happened instantly. So that's something that I want to do on this section. And then monthly pages, I'm going to do what I did in my last journal, which was to write down, what I did that day, like scheduling, sick days, meetings, events, major events. That's what I'm going to be using these pages for. And then, so this book is not like the Hobonichi in that it does not have the weekly pages. So it goes from monthly view to this page, which is the highlight of the month, which is what I'm going to use for the highlight of the month. Initially, I wanted to put my vision board in here, but I didn't like the space that they gave. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the top here, but I know that in each block, I'm going to write the highlight of the month for me. And then also something that I'm going to transfer from my old book to this book is that this page that they give you at the beginning of the month, I'm going to use that to do a collage of my month in pictures, similar to what I did in my old journal. I stick through with this for the entire year, and it's something that I'm going to continue to do here. The only thing is, I really don't like when a book gets bulky, so I hope that it does not make it too bulky. But I'm going to keep my ephemera not in this book. I'm not gonna put photos or receipts or like cutouts of like the things that you get on a trip that you want to stick into a book, or you go to a restaurant and you keep the napkin and you want to stick it in here. I'm not going to stick it in this book. I think I really am going to try to keep it in another book, either maybe my habit tracker, or maybe my travel journal, or maybe I'll get another book and stick those things in there. That's something that I'm also thinking about. But I don't want to have, is it okay to have? I already have 5 books. Maybe I do not want another one to keep track of. So, similar to Hobonichi, these pages, this is for memory keeping. Why I chose this one over the cousin for memory keeping is because it does not have the quotes at the bottom. Usually I cover it up anyway, so to me it doesn't make sense to lose that space with that quote if I'm going to cover it up anyway. And sometimes I don't even read the quotes, and if it's the Japanese version I can't even understand to read it, so that's why I chose this book. And I did a pen test, and this journal also uses tumble over paper. Where did I do that pen test? And the pens that I use hold up well in this book, so I believe that I made a good decision. I'm not sure where the pen test page is, but I know when I tested it, my fountain pen held up really, really well, because I use this Pelican ink and it does not bleed through at all. So that's my 2026 planner lineup. I am very happy about my choices, and I feel motivated to stick to using all of them. Please let me know if you're using any of them similarly, or if your ecosystem is as big as mine. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. Bye.